Well, I mean, Chantel, I guess you make a living doing this, so if it works for you, um, I guess if it works for you, it works for us, right?
What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. Chantal just did a live stream where the chat absolutely let her have it.
Mm-hmm.
Finally. This was dinner with me. She has a massive box of food. She said she's hungry, so she got chicken McBoos. She's excited for bread. She said that chicken Alfredo she made, quote, upset her tummy since it was so rich. And she says this is her.
Do you think it might have upset your tummy because it was a really poor recipe? That you're not actually supposed to put flour in your Alfredo sauce, Chantel? That if you are going to create a roux, you got to put that with your milk cream that hopefully is fresh um, on the side while it's cold to stir it up, because otherwise it's going to end up lumpy. I'm just saying there are simple ways of getting through this. And it's amazing that, first of all, my Alfredo recipe generally has a little bit of white wine in it and probably more garlic than you put in it. You said you put 4 cloves in. I pressed my garlic. I don't know how you did that, but it didn't look like it was pressed. I definitely do not put that much butter in it at all. I mean, every time you make something, it makes me want to throw up. And I already have digestive issues. This is like, it's hard to watch when you cook something or when you eat something. It's hard to watch. Especially because, according to one of the mods on Unicorn Pandu's channel, you apparently have a secondary table that's underneath your table, which I don't understand at all because I don't know how that would fit around your fupa. But you keep putting food on a lower level, shall we say? And I'm just not getting that. Like, that I've never stored food on a secondary table while I was eating. That's something you handle in the kitchen, Chantel. You portion out, okay, this much is going to be for Salah, and this much is going to be for me. You don't wait until the end of your mukbang and be like, okay, he can have my disgusting leftovers now, where my hands were all in the food. My dirty ass hands were all in the food. I took a bathroom break and shit. A washroom break, a lavatory break, a powder room break, however you want to goddamn say it. You were purposely farting on this live stream. You were purposely letting people hear your sounds coming from the bathroom. So you have a purpose here, and it is to attract a very specific, disgusting, perverted feeder crowd. And it's so gross, dude. But it gives us interesting content. We can talk about it.
First meal of the day. She's having a bad mental. She slept a lot. She's amazed at how many sauces they provide. Chantal, they probably provide so many sauces because they assume this is for multiple people. One of the Beezers said that they're going to ride with Chantal till the wheels fall off, but I think a leg will probably come off first if we're honest about it. Salah had fish. So by that logic, all of this is for...
Yeah, seriously. And the thing is, like, when we talk about until the wheels fall off or until a leg falls off, which is entirely possible, I have had relatives with type 2 diabetes who have lost limbs, okay? She spends a lot of time during this live stream lecturing us on death, thinking that she is the most intelligent person when it comes to religion, and therefore she knows all about it, and she is just waiting for her salvation. I would not be surprised one bit if she had found somebody that was an evangelical, like a Seventh Day Adventist or a Jehovah's Witness or one of these religions that are constantly looking forward to revelations. Because she seems to be very excited about the idea of death. And maybe that's why she's so self destructive.
Her. But she challenges that later in the stream. He just got his gallbladder removed, apparently.
Yeah.
She starts eating, talks about Ramadan recipes. The Beezers actually start telling her that she needs to recycle because everything she gets has so much packaging.
Yeah.
They ask her why she isn't doing members-only content. They really get restless early. They tell her if she does members-only that people won't be able to snipe her, and she actually seems very interested in learning about that. She goes over a time she went to Papa John's back in Canada. She has literally a 3-course meal here for herself.
Yeah.
I think the restaurant, assuming it was maybe even for a buffet, didn't include silverware. So she has to go get her
Plasticware it would be if it came from a restaurant. But I very fortunately only came in at the lentil soup. So I missed most of the binge eating portion of this live stream.
own. She said that she's going to be doing a no makeup challenge and that she's just going to wait for Eid to go get a new clothing haul. She said she likes Middle Eastern food more, saying that, Canada was too heavily inspired by French cuisine and that American food is just burgers and fries. I love how Chantal likes to broad brush.
Well, I can't even with you, crazy. First of all, that's fine. You want to go no makeup? That's fine. I go no makeup all the time, and I know you watch my channel. But to say that America, for as large as we are and for as diverse as we are, that all we have are burgers and fries, you clearly haven't been to any good restaurants at all. I mean, we got like every cuisine on the planet is represented in some form in America, period. Mostly in the large cities like the DC area, Florida, which you claim to have visited, Los Angeles, Southern California, right? San Francisco, even Chicago. Like we have, and New York, we have diverse cuisine everywhere. You're like, all we got is burgers and fries. Why are you so anti-Western that you're constantly talking about, like, just throwing out ridiculous insults that make absolutely no sense? And you're talking about visiting the most hostile countries that are on the watch list. That they, like, why do you want to go to Iraq? Why do you want to go to Iran? Why is it that you want to put your life in danger like that? Oh my God, crazy town.
That everything she believes to be true is how other countries operate, and all of her behaviors mimic what is normal for the Western world.
Okay.
She actually gets interrupted in this by the neighbors fighting. She spills some soup on herself, so she said she'll save that for later. And she keeps this running joke up about Salah's other apartment, his second wife. It really is on full display in this video. She pulls out a massive container of chicken, and really, even the chat jokes that this is rice for 12 people. But she says, fear not, she's not going to be eating it all.
How to open your car door while submerged.
Now, Salah actually comes into the chat. So she's making all of this specific to her specifications. He's supposed to be on a limited diet and has already ate, but she's saying she's going to save some of this for him. Mm-hmm. He goes back to hellos, stopping only to shovel rice into her food port. She talks about the food she's tried while there, the foods that she loves, while forcing her flippers through the whole meal. The chat tells her just like cut down on rice, and you'll probably see an.
Like, seriously, Chantal, look at that freeze frame of you. Look at your hands. I mean, there have been pictures of your hands where you got fat rolls on your hands. And I did see one of your videos recently where you were trying to imitate the way I move my hands during karaoke. Obviously you can't do it because I was a dancer for fucking 20 years, but okay.
Improvement in your health. And she says, she could do that, but it's difficult because everything there comes with rice. Julia gets in the takeout bag. The chat tells her the constant catcalling of Julia is getting very annoying. More than likely because it's starting to be a way she uses to...
Oh, it's not even that. It's just that it's so fucking annoying to hear how she speaks to her animals. It's like in this crazy octave. It's totally annoying, and her cat clearly doesn't even like her. The cat bit her a day or two ago, right? And she does that to Howie, the third, or is it the seventh at this point, as well. And there's speculation on whether or not she's allowing Howie to play, Howie number whatever, to play in the same space as Julia, and Julia's killing the hamsters, which is entirely possible. I mean, larger animals that are predatory like that will kill smaller animals. So I don't know what's going on there. I have no idea what's going on there, but it's pretty clear that she's had multiple Howies, and we don't know what's going on there, right?
Time. And despite saying she went to the dentist months ago, now she has no clue how dental care works there.
Right.
After eating more than half the rice, she grabs the chicken and proclaims, "This is for you, babe," as if anyone would want her half-ate pick-through meal. Joking that if his, quote, other wife doesn't cook, he can always have this. She then abruptly has to, quote, take care of something. Imagine what that might be, and then leaves for 5 minutes. The chat tells her when she returns that she didn't mute her microphone and that we heard her in the bathroom. She laughs it off and then admits that's where she was in a roundabout way. They tell her that she needs to do a gaming stream. She did commit to this daily. And she said she might, but she doesn't feel like camming up. They offer games for her to play, and she says she only has a PC for gaming. So they tell her then get an emulator. She says she doesn't know what an emulator is. She complains how tired she is. And at this point, some of the chat have really had enough. She was just singing and carrying on. She has no job. She comes online to film herself eating. And the chat basically tells her that is what she accounts for in a day, yet comes on and in less than an hour will talk about how she is tired over and over and over.
Yeah.
Chantal responds to them with, quote, "Actually, I do work. It's mentally draining what I do."
Really?
And this literally ignites the storm. She goes on this little tangent that, just because she doesn't have kids doesn't mean her mental and physical issues don't fatigue her. She proclaims that it's not fair that only people with kids can say they're tired. To which they ask her, what is truly wrong with her mentals? She says her mental condition is so bad she can barely get out of bed. She tells the chat the quote, "You don't know."
Oh, really? Because I thought you were bedbound because of your sciatica. Isn't that why you were bedbound? Your sciatica? Your sciatic? Whatever the fuck, however you want to pronounce it. She was claiming that she had sciatica, right? And that she was experiencing back pain. Well, that's not what sciatica is. So she was self-diagnosing. Then, as she started watching the React channels who were saying that's not possible, that's not what sciatica is, she started saying, oh, yes, yes, my whole left leg hurts. And she started turning her left foot out and limping, right? Then, when she was doing some of these walks, she was grabbing her right leg and saying, oh, my sciatica. So apparently her sciatica is moving different sides of her spine. Right. Okay.
What I do all day, what I deal with, and calls anyone who questions her a loser. Now, Chantal, we do know what you do all day because you tell us as much. You come online citing that you just woke up or tell us that you've been sleeping all day. So that's where they're getting this information, from you. She said she feels like she can barely survive doing the bare minimum. The chat gets frustrated about the lack of emojis she's promised for months, and she tells them it's draining just to keep up the home, as if they need to understand. And she says the reason they get so much takeout is because how she just has no energy. Chantal, the reason you have no energy and the reason everything drains you is because you're lugging around 200 extra pounds. You have a modest apartment. You have family to keep in touch with. That's all you're doing. All this really does prove, just so you know, is you could never go out and get an actual job. You could never go work. Your own chat is telling you that they're tired of hearing it. You joyously plow through a meal for 3 without a care in the world. Then when that's done, you complain about how it makes you feel and that you can't do anything.
Right.
The chat, basically paying to be there, ask you to do something as simple as play a video game, and you tell them you don't have the energy? You tell them that we only see 20 to 25 minutes of your day? They tell you they can see the CPAP marks on your face. They know that you just woke up. And you say, oh, no, those are visible for hours.
They're not going to be visible for hours, but they will be visible on her longer than your normal person because she's so puffy. She's so swollen. She's consuming too much sodium.
Tries to work past all of this with jokes about Salah having 3 wives and 3 apartments, and then telling Salah what she wants from 7-Eleven while yawning and saying that she can't stay long, complaining about how tired she is yet again and that she won't be gaming. The mental issues that she has, the food issues that she has, saying that, a little TED Talk, a peaceful future, getting her health back, traveling more, helping others. That's what she needs to do.
Right, okay.
The chat finds it odd that Salah's in the chat, but not in the apartment or with her, and they get very defensive of this. Salah basically saying, if he's in the chat, they question why he's not in the chat. If he's not at the apartment, they question why he's not at the apartment. The reality is, Chantal, shouldn't he be off your channel? I mean, that's what you said, right? No more internet for Salah after what happened with Kybella. But now, in the most random of ways, he shows up. You claim that you have food and meals for him, yet you eat the same way you always have. You prepare things the same way you always did. And now, if we're being honest, you're getting foods that he can't even eat. She then talks about having slept too much and goes right back to telling us what she does with her day. Goes over her and Salah, how he sleeps for 6 hours, but she needs to sleep for 9. Salah has a new haircut, and then she abruptly says she has to leave. It's one thing if you're going to have a boring stream, okay? Listen, Chantal, you're a master at boring streams. If you want to come online and just show yourself gorging and then log off, you're going to get a certain audience. That's fine. If you want to do that, then go right ahead. If you want to try to cultivate a health channel and reclaim your health, your mobility, your life, and do that, that's fine. You're going to get an audience doing that. What you can't do, and this is time tested, this is way beyond me, this is just globally anywhere. You can't have a customer where they continually tell you what they don't want you to do. You continually do it and then push back negatively against them while doing what they ask you not to.
You know, she kept talking about her legacy, right? Obviously, she's not going to have children, so um, she doesn't have to worry about how embarrassed her kids or grandkids are going to be. But her legacy is so shameful. It's so shameful. And she's like, just don't talk about the older videos that are out there and stuff. Rather than actually say, you know what, I want to move forward with my life. I realize I made a lot of mistakes and it's time for me to, you know, become a better person and look to the future of what I want to do with my life moving forward, right? Because I need to focus on my health, which she won't do. And I would like to focus on what retirement looks like, right? And the thing is, she has done some things that I can imagine she doesn't want to have children at this point because they would be shocked and embarrassed by what she has put online.
Most of them don't care if you're going to come online and eat. But all of them now are starting to care that you're coming online to eat and complain about how horrible your life is. They all now are starting to care that you come online. They ask you to do simple things like play a game, go to members only, and you refuse. And honestly, a lot of them are getting more and more irritated that you can't take $5, $10, $15 out of your daily takeout budget and pay someone, if you have to go make emojis for your channel. You're doing none of these.
Wow.
You are destroying the relationship you have with your viewer. You are destroying your health, and you are making a mockery of yourself online in the process.
Oh, by the way, that's a great picture of how she also still has not gotten the new glasses. She was supposedly at the eye doctor on December 18th, the day that Salah was texting back and forth with Kai Bella. She was supposedly at the eye doctor and the ER. There is no paperwork to back that up. And she later, when it became public that Salah was texting her Beezer, Kai Bella, it became public that she admitted she had been hanging out with Pete's, right? So I don't believe that she was at the ER. I don't believe that she did have an eye appointment. Because where the fuck are the new glasses, Chantal? Why are you still squinting like that and looking like an absolute fool squinting to read the chat?
Love to know your guys' thoughts on this. Top comments from the last video. You know I will be back as soon as I can with more content.
Alright, well, thanks for that, Gorlick Bread. I know that she's been particularly hard on you specifically. I don't know what your life is. I don't know what your circumstances are, but if you're living with your family, that's how it goes, right? She's obviously got a way worse situation than you because she's living in a situation where dude doesn't even have like a real relationship with her. It's and it's a hostile foreign country. Like that's got to be fucking scary. But apparently she has a death wish, you guys. I don't know what to say.